if I don't know what bitterness tastes like, then how am I meant to appreciate sweetness? I feel like we have two sides to everything. We have light and dark, masculine, feminine, yin, yang. There's so many two sides to things, and I feel like if we don't embrace that dark side, we are unable to get a balance. We're unable to truly see. So I feel like it's important that we do embrace that dark side. Imagine being trapped in a room that's just dark, pitch black, you know what I mean? And then you're in there for a while, you get me? And then all of a sudden you see like a glimmer of light. Your appreciation for the light in that moment would be unbelievable. Like, wow, finally I got to see the light, you know what I mean? And I feel like that level of feeling like it's important in life, that we're able to feel that and say, you know what, like I'm finally there, like, and everything I've went through has enabled me to feel like this, to experience this right now. The beauty of darkness opens a door for realizations and a clear vision. But I don't just mean vision in terms of like what we can see. I'm talking about like insight, like awareness. That's so important to have that, you know what I mean? And if we didn't have that darkness or those traumas we might have went through, we won't be able to actually have that proper insight. It's excitement and fulfillment. We aren't able to grasp that if we don't go through the discomfort, you know what I mean? The darkness that we see a lot of the time. I think there always has to be an opposing side, you know what I mean? Like to everything, good and bad, like there always has to be an opposing side. Otherwise, how would life be as exciting as it is? How would we be able to look forward to certain things if we're already blessed with everything from the start? Is that truly living if we don't go through those things? I just think it's so important to. Those type of experiences, they give us strength, wisdom. Like that's something you don't just get anywhere. And like I feel like when we avoid going through it, we don't gain that, and we need to be gaining that type of thing. Like in order to actually experience the abundance and the blessings and the gifts that will be given to us, we do have to go through these things. That like, nothing good comes easy. I think that is a very perfect saying because it's true. And I feel like once we start to acknowledge ourselves in those situations and say, you know what, I'm gonna just go through this, like I'm gonna just embrace it, like even though it's hard, I'm going to have to do this because I have no other choice. Like, and going back to certain things that we might be scared to go back to. Fear is a big thing, you get me? And once we overcome that fear of challenging that dark side, we would then be able to see the light. But we can't let it suppress, you know what I mean? And I think, I've done that, I've been there, like, don't actually deal with certain things, and I always have to come back to it. Like, when I sit there and acknowledge myself, whether it's a meditation or whatnot, it will unsettle me to not deal with that, and I have to deal with it. Like, if I don't, then there's always going to be something there, and I need to be able to create that space for myself to be able to bring what I need to bring into my life. When it comes to healing, like I found myself in times like kind of saying certain things about myself. This was a long time ago. I'm just acknowledging those things now though, that this is something I no longer do. I never call myself an idiot if I've made an accident. I don't call myself stupid. I said this in my last video, and I was talking about the concept of like making a little simple mistake. It could be dropping something on the floor, or it could be doing a piece of work and you've made a mistake or whatever it is, and then calling yourself, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid. And you might do this under your breath, and I used to do this, trust me, I used to do this, and then I acknowledged it. I was like, wait, why am I doing this? Like, why am I speaking to myself like that? Like, and we don't realize these things, these little things we say. And I think when we come to realizing them, that's when we can actually start to develop ourselves, because we shouldn't be speaking to ourselves in a negative way. It's not the way we're supposed to live. Like, you're meant to love yourself. Like, that is self-love. You're meant to love yourself, speak to yourself nicely, kindly, you know. And I think on my channel I have talked about this already, the importance of loving, you know what I mean, loving yourself. You are none of those things. Like, I am none of those things that I was calling myself. Like, I can tell you that for facts. Like, I am not that. You get me? And I think when I started to acknowledge that, I put boundaries and barriers in place, saying like, nah, if I was to make a mistake, I would stop and think about what I'm saying instead of automatically let whatever comes out of me come out of me, because I need to be in control of my mouth, my words. Because, you know, the throat is so powerful, you know, our voice, the way we speak, communication, especially with yourself, like, that's big. It's not even about saying something else, it's just about stopping that yourself from saying that about yourself in that moment, like, because that's not gonna help you with this, you know what I mean? I had to also acknowledge myself and think, how am I speaking to people in conversation? It's one of them ones where I don't want to be in a conversation with someone and then I go home later that night and I'm absolutely cringing about myself and the way that I treated myself, or the way or the energy that I brought into that conversation or into other people's surroundings, you know. And I think being conscious of the way you treat yourself is so important, because it will affect people around you. Like, I have to treat myself properly in combo with other people. Like, what am I saying to them about myself? I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, but the most important thing is I don't want to make myself feel uncomfortable. I don't want that to be a thing that I'm remembering all the time. Like, I remember when I had that conversation with Thingy, you know, and I'm sitting there thinking, I wish I didn't do that, you get me? I don't want to have that. I want to acknowledge what I'm saying about me and myself, so that I can bring a good experience for myself and others around me, you know what I mean? Like, because when we start to say certain things, it manifests into your physical. I remember, like, there's a time where I was stressing out a lot, and I felt like I was eating too much, and that was reflecting in my physical self. I was just stressed out about the way I felt about myself from doing that. And then also just other things, like, certain things can come from that, and like, people don't realize that the way you mentally treat yourself and the way that you speak to yourself affects your physical self too. It's mad. Like, people don't realize this, and I think you have to start taking control of the way you speak and think in order to be able to fix that. Our physical health depends on the way that we speak and think, like, to ourselves, about ourselves, you know what I mean? Like, and that's our immune system that's being affected by negative self-talk or negative thinking. Like, that's our immune system. I don't want my immune system to, you know, be low or really, like, not a good immune system just because of the way I'm thinking, which I have complete control over, you know what I mean? And when you start to think positive and speak positive affirmations to yourself, that is when your immune system will grow and develop. You'll start to put certain things into your body because you're thinking aligned with your frequency that you want to be thinking on. That's when you'll put certain things into your body that will allow you to even think even better, and your immune system will just grow, be more healthy, and you'll practice more practices that you want to practice because you're affirming those things, and they're only going to be good things because you only want the best for yourself. You know what I mean? I think it's so important to acknowledge the way we treat ourselves. And even if, you know, people's healing journey, you know, my healing journey, obviously come from traumas, you know what I mean? And I think I'm still going on it. It never stops. It keeps going. Like, and I think we have to stop thinking that there's a destination, because there's not. Like, you're constantly going through it. But you're going to have times where you're up here and you're going to have times you're down here, you know what I mean? I've had that. But yeah, I feel like it comes from trauma, and it's not about suppressing the trauma. It's about acknowledging that trauma, you know what I mean? And acknowledging that it might be trauma, whether it's from your childhood or adult life, it doesn't matter. It's about acknowledging it and noticing that. I started doing this practice where, like, I look into the mirror and I say to myself a list of affirmations that I've made. I love myself. I am powerful. I am abundant. I am well. I am healthy. I am abundance. You know what I mean? I am royalty. See those words? Like, I can confirm it. I am royal. I am a queen. That's big. Like, that's a big thing to do for yourself. And even me just saying it, then I was like, yo, I can feel it, you get me? Words are powerful. Don't forget that words are powerful. Because I forgot. And like, it's not good to forget these things, you know what I mean? They're so important. We're not taught how important these things are. We're not. In school, you think that they're not going to teach you these things, like how to actually love yourself. We're not taught these things. It's so important. It's all memories, isn't it? The memories are the reason why we hurt from certain things, and it's hard. It's hard when we acknowledge them, you get me? But we have to do it, man. Like, we can't bury these traumas. Like, I can't do that to myself. I cannot bury these traumas. I have to allow them to come up and acknowledge them and say, okay, cool, we're going to remove the feeling that I have towards this and acknowledge it and allow it to work, or feel the emotion that you need to feel from it. Like, we can't suppress it, because when we do that, that's when it's only going to get worse, and it only takes longer to get through that certain stage of our journeys. Not working on these traumas, not looking at them, acknowledging them, you know, not feeling them, it's only going to cause temporary relief. Like, just a little space in time where you're like, yeah, I'm good. But then, you know, a couple years down the line, you're sitting with yourself and you're like, why am I feeling like this? Or a couple months, a couple weeks even, why am I feeling like this? What is that? And then you go deep within, it's like, oh, I didn't deal with it. I need to deal with it. I don't want people around me to have to go through that, you get me? I think it's important that we speak about these things, like, well, I don't know how it might be in terms of the way that you want to, like, release that trauma, but everyone naturally goes through it in their natural process. And like, sometimes you don't even know what it might be, but I feel like even just going into ourselves and asking for guidance on what it might be, or going into yourself and acknowledging things, or allowing those thoughts to just come through, then it will come up, you get me? Because sometimes people don't realize what it is that's making them feel that type of way, you know what I mean? I think it takes time, man. It takes time. We have to be patient with this process. I'm the author of my own story, you know what I mean? I don't let my traumas from the past haunt me. I'm not allowing that to happen. That's an affirmation, you get me? I'm not allowing that to happen. I'm just not. Like, I'm in control of this. I'm in control of my reality. I'm in control of everything I do. Like, I'm allowed to make change, allowed to feel those emotions, you know? There's nothing wrong with feeling those emotions, letting them rise. We have to feel them, you get me? I think whether you're a female or a male, we have to feel these things. I feel like as we close, I just want to talk about how I spoke about it, but I want to just kind of I want to address how important it is to acknowledge this healing journey that you might be going on, that I'm going on, as something that's going to always go on. And it's a journey. We have to love it, appreciate it. You know, don't ever think that you're alone. There's so many other people going through this. Everyone's going through it, whether you realize it or not. We're always constantly going through this journey. And there's going to be times where you feel like, whoa. Like, I'm so grateful that I've embraced it, because the person you'll become from embracing it is going to be just amazing, so bright, so beautiful. You already are those things. It's just about affirming them. I'm affirming them now for you. You are beautiful. You are light. You are amazing. You're abundance. You are everything that you've ever wanted to be. You are that now. You get me? I appreciate you for sticking around and actually listening to these words. That shows that you're there to appreciate yourself, because you're allowing yourself to receive this right now. Embrace the patience, you get me, and acceptance towards this along the way. And I think if we do that, we will definitely be grateful for the outcome. And I think finally, as a part of my journey, I think that creativity is my main pinpoint for experiencing, expressing these emotions, whether it's art, music, dance. Creativity is what's holding me there, and it's an outlet for me to express through. You get me? Like, if I was to paint a picture, whatever comes out of me is flowing out of me. I'm allowing these things to release. Music, I speak my words through into the music. What I need to work on, it's coming through. You get me? I'm allowing it all to come through. I think it's so amazing to have these practices, creative outlets, you get me? To be able to let yourself go. We have to let ourselves go. It's so important. And that's why I appreciate this platform, to be able to speak to you guys. I'm really enjoying this journey of just speaking, creating this content. So thank you for watching the video, and I really hope that you can stick around for the next video. And make sure to check out my last video. I talked about discipline and kind of what we go through when it comes to going through discipline and sticking to things, being productive. Because even through healing journeys and what we're speaking about today, discipline is so important for that. And there's certain topics that kind of expand on what I've spoke about today in that video, and I think you would really benefit from that. So I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my channel, so that we can keep going, keep speaking to each other. And I just want you to remember how beautiful you are, and I'm gonna just express my gratitude for you sticking to the end. I'll see you next time. Blessings.